Good morning. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Lawful, where authenticity lives and thrives to create a space of growth, healing, and joy. I am your host, Andrea Lawful Sanders, and each day we will cover the topics that are informative and engaging while learning from each other. It is February 3rd, 2026. It is 24 degrees and clear outside. It really feels way colder than the temperature tells us. So there's a feel like temperature that I'm not really sure how any of us are dealing with it. And in our home, we are working on our heating system to get it back to where it was. Sensor went, and so goes the sensor, so went the heater. We have a good electrician plumber though, so they've been working together to make sure we get that done. In the meantime, it is still Black History Month. I am wearing again the Anu. When they first started years ago, I would consistently promote them and go and get a piece at a time. And this is just a duster that I wear. They're a Black-owned business that are centered in Norristown, Pennsylvania. They have a warehouse there, but you can order as many things as you want to online. So there's that. It is still Black History Month, so I am going to talk about some of the people that we don't often hear about. And I'll do this every day until Black History Month is over. Uh, Most people know the name Rebecca Lee Crumpler. I'm sorry. More people should know the name Rebecca Lee Crumpler. She was born in 1831 and passed away in 1895. Crumpler was the first Black American woman physician. She became a doctor of medicine at New England Female Medical College in 1864, just a year before the end of the Civil War. She spent her career focusing on the care of women, children, and people of color who were unable to pay for their medical services, fighting racism and sexism every step of the way. In 1883, she published a book called A Book of Medical Discourses in Two Parts, which many historians believe to be the first medical text by a Black American writer. You might not have heard her name until now, but spread it far and wide because Crumpler is one of the pioneering women who changed the world and one of the most inspiring Black history figures. Okay, so, oops, I'm sorry. Just lost the whole diggity dang thing, but don't worry. I'll find it and go back to it. So she was one, but there are 34 of them, so I'm going to cover one or two a day. And then for my morning motivation, whew, Lord, in communicating with a friend recently whose husband died after 30 years of marriage, she said something that was quite profound to me. My husband and I were always goal setters, and we accumulated a lot of things. What I realized was this: he who dies with the most toys dies. She also has several brain tumors and has been battling with this for at least a decade. Her husband died from COVID. Together, they amassed incredible wealth with boats, living on the lake, and all the things they ever wanted. On this side of it, though, they both recognized that the things were just that, things, and those things could not save them from getting sick or dying. And so they chose to appreciate the small things in life, which changed their perspective drastically. Today, she is increasingly saddened as she realized even more that life goes way beyond all they had achieved, and she wished they had spent more time doing more of what mattered but cost no money. I use this and she's still alive. Her husband died 2 years ago. She's since gotten remarried, and it upended her whole family, her daughters. Everybody was just so angry with her. But she said she just could not be alone. We're going to talk about this at some point. People whose spouses died after decades of marriage that just immediately went and got remarried again, and what that has meant. But be that as it may, this is not about that conversation. The conversation is about today. what are the little things that we can choose to find gratitude in that cost absolutely no money? After you buy the Peloton and the boat and you live in the house on the hill and you have acreage of land and you have all those things. At what point do we recognize that these things do not make us happy? Oh, I've got a crick in my neck. That these things cannot bring us happiness and joy, and that true happiness comes from within. The small things makes all the difference. It's the experiences that you have with people. I've been going back and forth to get some tests and blood work done, and I happened to look in one of the chats, and I'm sure some of them are watching this morning, where the year that my mother died in 2025, the women, one of Kia Harris' car called and said, "I know your mom died. I know you are really struggling with her passing, but there's a group of women, myself included, who needs you. We need to go up and do some kind of retreat." And I said to Kia in the moment, I said, "But any one of you could do it." She said, "Yes, but you are the no nonsense one, and they most likely will not test you if you're the one leading this charge." And so with Denise in the car with me, I stopped the car. I was driving somewhere to from somewhere. I stopped the car and I called Seven Springs and asked them if they had cabins that could host 10 women, and that those cabins, when I put it up on social media, because I am really strict about not playing favoritism. So the first people that see it are the first ones that get it. And I put it up on social media and I said, "Listen, I have a cabin that can fit 10 women." And those cabins were gone. That cabin was gone in like 3 minutes, no lie. I ended up with 50 women going up to the mountains with me. My caveats were, you don't have to know the people that you're going with. I'm just trusting you to open yourselves to learn about other people other than, your friends. A couple of people wanted to hang out with their friends. I'm like, this is not that. This is not that. You've got to get to know each other. They had to share beds. Oh my God. I took them completely out of their comfort zone, and they could not talk about work. And they went up and they went tubing down the mountain. They went into the pools. There was a place where they could play pool, all the things that were there for them. The only caveat was that they could not talk about work. And in each of the cabins that they were in, I think they were like 8 to a cabin, but they were switching back and forth and helping each other, and they were all cooking and having themselves a good time. And out of that group of 50 women, some of whom I had never met until they came trudging up that mountain 6 hours away from home, because everybody loves to go to the Poconos. Seven Springs Resorts is way further out. It's about an hour away from Pittsburgh, if that much, maybe 20 minutes away from Pittsburgh. And so they all came up and got to know each other. And they've been asking since, for us to do it again. But man, it's been insane. And because of what's going on in the country, I don't want to take them out, another group of women out, and then they get stopped by ICE. I thought about taking them out to West Virginia so that they could go to a hot springs and enjoy themselves. But I'm very mindful that this is about other people's lives. So I've been, quietly trying to figure out what else to do with them. And they've since gone on and done, other little things with other little groups. But one particular group, Chalet 2, and if you're on the air listening to me this morning, these women in Chalet 2 left the mountain and they continue to stay in touch with each other. They have gone on breakfast once a month. They have gone to dinners. They have gone to, when somebody's sick or somebody's parent died or somebody's going through something with a child, whatever it is, these women continue to come together. And so yesterday, I happened to look, is it yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. I happened to look and one of them said, "Thank God we have each other." And another one said, "Thank God for Martha, because had she not taken the risk and taken us up there, not knowing each other, it was so crazy. It was so crazy. I put all 50 of them rooms on my credit card so they didn't have to worry about paying the extra fees, etc. And they all paid for their rooms. So I didn't end up owing, any money. And it was just a beautiful experience. That kind of experience. There were people who were on the trip who could not afford to come, and we covered them. I covered them to make sure they could be up there for the weekend. People who were losing parents, losing children, all sorts of things. When I say the experiences matter, this is what I'm talking about. When we take ourselves outside of ourselves to make sure that other people can find a way to breathe, it's really just breathing. When those women stopped talking, when they realized they could not talk about work, and I would go from chalet to chalet, just kind of not eavesdropping, because I was sitting there and listen to them, but I wouldn't speak. If I spoke, it was because it was something that someone said that made me, jump in. But for the most part, I wouldn't speak, and I would sit in the chalets and listen to them. And let me tell you something. folks are going through. Do you hear what I'm telling you? And we play these games of, well, all is well, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and everybody's going to be all right, and blah, 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 blah. And here I am flying over here, and here I am going over there. When we don't have a space to release the angst and the grief and the things that we're feeling, it causes so much damage to us physically, emotionally. It causes damage to us in the way we respond to people, in the way we speak to people. And what I have realized in the last year and a half, and for those of you who are listening to me and have seen this, like we're going to Booker's for dinner, right? Just from here, just sitting here going, let's just go to Booker's for dinner. Let's go support a small Black-owned business for Black History Month. That's the kind of stuff that matters, y'all. And when we don't have a place to put our angst, when we then turn it into being vile sometimes. Some people turn it inwardly and destroy themselves inwardly. Other people turn it outwardly and become vile about the way they talk about people, the way they treat people, because they don't want to face their own stuff. And I promise you, we all have our stuff. Every single one of us. And we have to find the levity and the brevity around what's going on here. So it's not the things, it's the experiences. It is never the things. It's never what we own. I was saying to my sisters and my father yesterday, people always say, buy the house that you can afford to upkeep. And never was it more true, because you just never know. As the electrician and the plumbers were here yesterday, for me it's a sensor, but the plumber's phone rang and he put it on speakerphone, and a woman was screaming that the pipe burst under her kitchen sink and water was everywhere and the water was freezing. As it was crazy. And he said to her, do you know where your turn-off valve is? And she did not know. So he was sending somebody to go help her, but he had been getting those kinds of calls all day long. He said to me, do you know where your turn-off valve is in your house? I said, no, but my husband does. He said, He said, your heater is right here, your turn-off valve. And he said, come look where your turn-off valve is. If your husband isn't home, you need to know all these things. And it clicked in my head. My father would say all the things. Know how your car works. Know where the oil is. Know how to change the tire. You may not end up doing it yourself, but there's certain things that we just know how to do. And we have to stop ascribing to, well, this is not my role, and as a woman, blah, 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 blah. Your man may not always be around. You just need to know. Do it as a thing for yourself, so that even if you gather, bring somebody to come and fix your tire or fix your this or fix your that, know what you're looking at, so that they can't gouge you, right? Or try to charge you for extra things, blah, 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 blah. I know I have family members that love Hondas. I love Honda. My first couple of cars were Hondas. One of the reasons why I stopped buying Hondas, and they're great cars, absolutely great cars, is because you still have to change your timing belt. Literally, they have to lift out the damn engine and change the timing belt at a certain amount of miles. If that is not done, then the timing belt breaks and then it bends the pistons and all that. I knew that. So I started looking at Toyotas whose timing belt is a chain belt. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. And so I became a Toyota girl, because I do not want to spend thousands of dollars to fix something that should just last you the whole life of your car. That's just me. So when I say do your research and ask the questions, that's where I have been in all of this. So learn, y'all. Never stop learning. Never take the fun out of learning. And love yourself enough to take care of yourself, and don't sit around waiting for somebody to always be there for you. My husband loves me. Y'all know this. You all know he will take 10 bullets and still keep coming if you try to harm me. But as much as I love my husband, I have to take care of myself too. I can't sit around depending on him to make sure that I'm okay, because I just don't feel like doing XYZ, XYZ. So I know it may feel like I'm going on and stuff like that, but when my mind tells me to share certain things with you, I share it with you. I don't know why, but I just do it. So look for the experiences. Be grateful. Be grateful that you have heat. Be grateful that you have a roof over your head, because we have heaters in here. We have all the things that can keep us in a modicum of warmth so that we're okay. Just be grateful. Stop expecting everybody to, and if you consistently want people to name you by title and by all the things that you come up with, it's okay to just be yourself. Be humble. Be humble. Last year, I went to the African American child fair, book fair for children. It's this Saturday, February 6th. Go on out there and get your books. I went and bought a bunch of books for my grandchildren. And there were so many people in there. It was in the convention center, but there were wall to wall people in there. I had my mask on and I'm walking around, and it was last year. No, it was 2024. Last year was 25. Because Kawesa came over and said, "There's a woman looking for you," and I said, "Word." So I came on out and tried. The woman was standing by the radio station table, waiting for me to come by. And when she saw me, and Quisa took a bunch of pictures. It's in my memories today, which is why I'm talking about it now. When she saw me, she said, "Mrs. Sanders, I don't want to, I'm not taking off my mask." She said, "But I've had a card for you for several months." And she began telling me the story about her husband passing away and blah, 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 blah. And she just made me cry. The words of inspiration, but she had been listening. She had not been one that was calling in. She didn't have internet, but she was just listening. And she wanted to let me know the things that inspired her, the things that she learned, da, 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 da. As she and I are doing this, a bunch of other people kept walking up. And so I said to them, I said, "Listen, I got to go outside because I can't breathe in here." There were so many people, and I refused to take off my mask because I did not want to get COVID. So I go outside and I sat on a ledge, and there was a woman sitting beside me, and people came up and just started talking. The brothers came up. It was 2024. The brothers came up and was like, "How's Mr.?" Because my husband had come on here and shared that he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And, the brothers were just like, "Thank you for reminding us that we are loved. Thank you for reminding us that we like." It was so much. You just don't know how you impact people by your everyday movement. So be mindful. This journey that you're on is never about you, the person that's walking it, but about how you treat those that are around you. And when you're selfish in your ways and selfish in, "Well, I'm going to get mine because I don't know," please understand, when you take care of other people, the God, the universe remembers that you too will be taken care of. Your energy, what you emit is what you get back. Don't forget that part. Let me go on to a little bit of levity here. A friend of mine, usually I cover, for those of you who are not aware, I design most of what I wear. I don't buy designer name things. I will go and I can find a fabulous piece of fabric for $5 a yard. If people ignore it, I make a lot of my things out of upholstery fabric. So those beautiful skirts and stuff are all upholstery fabric, and I'll design them. My jackets, all the things that, or sometimes I go to New York and there's an Egyptian man that I go to that I get all my fabrics from, and I will design them. So as a direct result, and I will push the boundaries. If you have time, just go look at my photos and you'll see a lot of the pictures the things that I designed. That Renee, who creates my clothes, said that I was crazy. Like I made something out of a mud cloth in the middle and a yellow thing that flew out. And that was the day when I went to Los Angeles to cover the NAACP Image Awards, and Rihanna walked out and walked right into my arms and hugged me and said, "You look divine." Angela Bassett walked over and said, "Oh my God, what is that you're wearing?" And I was struck mute because here I was. I was looking to interview them and to catch them on film to report back to all of you. They were walking over and talking to me. So there's been a lot of that happening. And I've had people, movie stars, ask if I could design things for them simply because I chose to be myself, right? So that's been going on. As a direct result of that, whenever there is an award show, like the Grammys or the Oscars or the Emmys, I created something called Mother's Rearview Mirror Reviews, and I started critiquing in fun ways, right? Critiquing in fun ways what people were wearing, what it felt like to me, et cetera, et cetera. So I had stopped doing it because life, the world felt so heavy. I was like, here am I? Why would I even want to be cracking jokes and saying all the things when people are out here dying? And I saw a girl wearing something. People knew her name, where her clothing was attached to her nipples and she was barely dressed. And I said, "Okay, you get a review." Yesterday. So while I was sitting around waiting for some test results, um, I did my mother's rear view mirror reviews. Y'all don't work, do you? Y'all do not work. The phone just kept. I had to turn it off. I was like, I cannot. Um, so yeah. Laura says, I absolutely love the spring dress that had the yellow and green in it. I don't know what you're talking about, honey. You're going to have to tell Mother a little bit more because there's a lot of things that I designed. And I stopped buying clothes, by the way, in 2014. I will support Dianu. I've supported Dianu. I've supported Ray Darton. Ray Darton is African inspired clothing made by African women. And so I got 3 or 4 dresses from them, maybe in 2019. And that's the other thing. When you buy your clothes, don't buy them because they're fashionable. Buy them because they're of great quality and you can wear them years and years and years and years later. I have things that I wear that people think I've got it for the first time that are 10 years old, 15 years old, but I got that from my mother. Right. So then I said the word right. I said, right, y'all are not holding me accountable to the things here. So yeah, she said we need those reviews. It lightens the mood. And I agree. People were inboxing me going, thank you. We needed something other than the bad news. So there was that. So Laura, you're going to tell me about that spring dress. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, hi Stanton. Good morning, my darling. Good morning. Monica says what you emit is what you get back, negative or positive. So you can't throw negativity out there and then expect the world to treat you wonderfully and love you. May Ati, yes, Sharon says May Ati is another one of great quality. Angela, I still have it. She says I'm still waiting for you to use that red fabric from our New York trip. I have a ton of fabric, Angela, that I haven't used it, and every once in a while I'll pull out a piece and I call Renee and I go, I'm feeling inspired. What are we going to do with this? So the red fabric will be used at some point. You'll see it when it's made. Essence says, where can we check your design? Essence, girl. So go on my Facebook page, Andrea Lawful Sanders. Go into the photos and just look. Pretty much everything I wear is unique, and it's mostly because they were designed and made. So go check it out, honey. So that's why I began doing the Marvel's rearview mirror reviews. Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you. So let me see what else is going on here. I think you wore it at Mr. Man Frisbee's event. What the hell? I'm still lost. I'm still lost. I'm still lost. I'm sorry. Because there's so much that I wear. Laying in the casket is a body, not a title. Not a rich person. Come on, David. Tell the people. Laying in the casket is a body, not a title, not a rich person, not a college degree, but a corpse. Remember that. And you, from the moment you are born to the day you die, when I leave up out of here, there shall not be no weeping, nor wailing, nor moaning of teeth. Y'all are gonna go. Mother was crazy as hell. Mother jumped out of her. Mother flew in a F-14 fighter jet and broke the sound barrier. Mother climbed the such and such and jumped down. Everybody's looking at her like she was crazy. Mother went and visited this one and that one and that. August for the Achievers Ball. Yes. Oh, Renee and I, you've got to go see this thing. Renee and I fought over this thing because she was like, I don't know what you. It was the first fight we had in 12 years. She kept saying, this is not possible. You can't possibly achieve what you're asking for. I don't understand why. And I mean, she burst into tears. I said, Renee, is this too much? She said, yes, you always ask me to make the impossible. I know it turns out well when it's done. She said, but why does your brain operate like this? And she's fussing and crying. I said, ooh, okay, Renee. You don't have to make it. I'll just figure out something in my closet. I'm so sorry you feel this way. I did not mean to, hurt your feelings. And I got up and I was walking out. I got to my car and she ran out the house and she said, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. She said, you really pushed me to my limit in my creativity. I didn't know what I was doing. And she and I sat and put that thing together. Go take a look at it. It was it felt like I was a garden in spring. Walking out. I made her cut the things out, do this, do that, fabulous, fabulous. And then, what's her name? Sarita Scott did my hair with African coils. Oh, honey. Yo, that was nice. Yeah, yes, you all were right. So go look, Essence. Just go down my pictures on my Facebook page. Just find the pictures and go down and you'll see them. Beautiful stuff. So yes. Monica says your home has a main water shutoff valve, and know that each water item in your home yes, they do. Yes. Also sinks and toilets, etc. Absolutely. But he was showing me the valve that says that will shut off everything in your home at one time. That main water shutoff valve. Laura says, I was just thanking God when I woke up and heard the heat come on. I am grateful. Part of my issue with our heating system down here, it's a good system. This was my fault. We had the floor sanded and made them epoxy floors so that, I didn't have to worry about it. And all that sanding, the dust got into our heating system, and I didn't realize it till we turned on the heat, and it just got into one of the sensors. So we're working on that. Yeah, Tiffany says, yep, it was a garden that came alive. It was beautiful, y'all. Y'all got to see it. It was fabulous. So yeah, those are the kinds of things, which is why I feel like I can do the rear view mirror reviews, because I look at the quality of the fabric. I look at how it matches your skin tone. I look at all those things, and I've seen some crazy stuff yesterday. Laura says it would actually make a nice auction piece. It would bring in a lot of cash. It would, but what Renee and I decided was we would offer it to the Museum of Natural History in Washington D.C. So yeah, some of my clothes are going there. Already contacted them because some of this stuff is just like when we had the Black Panther movie premiere, and I had a wife and husband couple design a jumpsuit for me with oh Lord, and then Renee created a coat that with the arms cut out, and Mr. Man Frisbee had a contest, and I came in there and everybody went bish. You want this thing, we can't stand. And I did. I want it, right? That's how much I am creative about clothing, about what we wear. I see Louis Vuitton had these pink and burgundy velvet suits, and everybody had them on. You are designed to be unique. And I just was like, yeah, no, we're not even doing that. We're not doing that. So find your uniqueness and make it work for you. Let me see what else is going on here. We should have Commissioner Samveer joining us shortly. Hey, Sharon says, absolutely learn all you can about your car, etc. Yeah, we did the household finance, right? So when you sit around, my husband pays all the bills or my wife pays all, learn about what's going on, because if one of them dies, I said to my husband this morning, remind me to show you where the life insurance policy is. He's like, you're not expecting to die on me anytime. So I said, no, but if something happens to me and I clock it out of here, that's one piece you don't need to know where to find, because it supports you and the boys and Janelle. Let's see. Y'all are talking. Yes, Sharon, experience matters more than ever these days. And then when we share our creativity, so let's say you don't have money to do something, but you are creative at this, and that other person is creative at that. You barter your services with each other until you can, until something else is going on. You can keep doing it, right? Aunt Laura says, Chalet too. I love you guys. You guys are wonderful. Monica said, I wanted to go so bad, but that was during the time she was caring for her mother. I'll do it again, Monica. And the problem is I need to find a space that can hold hundreds of women, because always somebody's screaming at me, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you invite me? Yeah. Katisha said, I remember that one. You ate down. Yes. Black Panther was fierce. And I still have yet to see anything like it again. In fact, the Ruth Carter, who is the woman that does the true story, I have witnesses for this, who is the woman that creates the costumes for Black Panther. I saw her at one of the NAACP Image Awards. I had on this fantastic skirt with this chartreuse top. She walked over. She was like, wait, who are you? And I said, I'm just here working for the Philadelphia. She said, oh, no, you're not just. She said, take my phone number. She said, you do this all the time? I said, I designed for myself, ma'am. She wanted me to work with her to help create some of the newest costumes. I lost her number. It was Nehemiah that was me. Nehemiah looked at me and went, Auntie. I lost her number, and I never forced the issue to reach out to her again, because when things are meant to connect and happen, they absolutely will. And then on the Fresh Bel Air, the father for Bel Air, he walked over, spun me around, and said, Queen, Everybody should look like this. They just kept spinning me around and spin. So when you do things out of authenticity, right? I can't tell you the amount of people that I met. I designed for 2 movie stars. I never came and told you guys who they were and what I did for them. But you just gotta be yourself. Be yourself wherever you are, however you are, because people will find you. I don't see Commissioner Sabir, and I don't see. I'm just checking to make sure that no one sent me an email. Yeah, I still don't see him. So let me. I just want to make sure they didn't email me. Well, we'll see. He'll show up when he's ready. Alexandra says, I'm thinking of making, don't laugh, Alexandra. That's a gift. Your cakes are amazing. Right? She says, I'm thinking of making cakes to sell. Stanton says, how did you master your level of equanimity in the critical conversations or items you've handled in your work? It's admirable. First of all, I don't take anything personally. I recognize 2 things I do. I don't take it personally. And I say to myself, what is a lesson I am to learn in this? In my work, until I came to the air, you guys didn't know what I really do for a living. So I learned in my work that there was a sister, well-known sister, that was running around and telling people I shouldn't get the contracts. I should not have the contracts. She is better at it than I am. And I didn't say anything to her. I just kept working at the pace and the quality that I was working. And then one day she heard that I actually recommended her for a job, for a contract, that I just didn't have the time and thought she would be better at it. And ever since then, she's trying to be nice, but she realized that as she was trying to destroy me, I was trying to elevate her. Never give tit for tat, right? Continue to just be your best self. And you will go through years sometimes feeling like everything is fighting against you, that nobody, you just like, you can't catch a break, you can't catch a break. But you are always being tested. In this life, we're always being tested. And when you remember that every part of our journey happened just the way it's supposed to. If I hadn't gone through the things I had gone through earlier on when I had my small children, going through divorce, not having $1 left over after I paid the rent, if I hadn't gone through all of that, that was helping me to build my character. It was helping me to be a better person, so that when I got on this side of it, I knew how to treat people well. Let's see. There's Chairman Shabir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. You look like bright sunshine in this morning. How are you?
Great, great, great. We trying. We trying. Every day, every step. We're trying to get ready.
Yes, I have been vocal, and I try to not be so vocal all the times, because people think I'm choosing and I'm being chosen favoritism. But I gotta tell you, from the time I met you, when you first became commissioner of elections, you're now the chairman of those elected officials. You have been out in the street working your tail feathers off. I had never seen anyone from that office as visible as you have been, and how you have changed things and put the boxes outside and made sure the offices were open for people to come and vote early if they wanted to. You became the shining example. And that's what I'm saying. When you do what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, people will recognize it for what it is. And you've done that, sir. So thank you.
Thank you. That means a lot, to hear you saying that, because I know you know what's going on, and after you say that, it means a lot. And when I first got elected, to be honest, I just never wanted to make everybody look bad. You know what I mean? For support me.
Yeah.
You know how it is. It's like
Mhm.
when you folks tell people to vote for you or support you. And it's just like, and I'm still kind of guess from the old schools. I look like one person make a mistake, they make all African Americans look bad. So it's like it's responsibility. I understand it, and we definitely look continue to work as hard as we can.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're doing it. And I see you also walking and doing all the things and making sure you stay healthy. I'm very proud of you for that too. We look at each other, Chairman Sabir, and we say, "Oh, that person is small," and that. Nope, they still have the same issues. Got cholesterol issues, got heart issues. But when we are vocal about taking care of ourselves, it inspires other people to do the same thing. So thank you for that. Okay.
Sure. Well, Well, when I'm vocal, I'm really talking to myself. It's like I'm talking to myself, and like I say, if y'all listen, fine. But end of the day, anything what I'm saying, like we talk about a healthy brain, a healthy
Mhm.
body, and a healthy bank account. It's never a destination. It's something that you're always working on, and it's something that we need to have these conversations about. And we look at different cultures. I mean, they had these different conversations in the movies that they talk about. A
Yeah.
lot of times, we don't never really talk about how to take care of ourselves. We want to take care of everybody else, and then the people that's helping people, your health end up being up, whether it's stress, whether it's anything else, and then even whatever it is what you're doing, no matter what your lifestyle is, it's like your lifestyle is always better if you're exercising like every day. Like if
Mhm.
you're doing what you're doing, well, it doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
just physically just going to be better. I mean, every study shows that if even if you just take 20-minute walk every day. Like that brings down the risk of dementia,
Yeah.
of your legs joints. It's just everything about it. It's just wow. It's just amazing about what the human body is. And
Mhm.
like I know that when you go to, the track, when you go to the different places, there's not people that look like us there. And it's like, we really got to shift our brain really to truly understand that number one, that people that have melanin in their skin, their bodies are amazing. And so, like, we don't really take care of our bodies like we should. But if we just took care of our bodies, it'd be a dangerous thing in America.
Amen. Amen. Let me introduce you. Commissioner Omar Sabir, Chairman Commissioner Omar Sabir, is the City Commissioner of the County of Philadelphia. He was elected on November 5th, 2019, and sworn in on January 6th. When did you become Chairman, Commissioner?
So, in the beginning of the 2024 election, so I served as vice chair when Commissioner Smith left to go to Committee of 70, who is now the Secretary of State. I assumed his role as vice chair. And then in 2024, when we did a reorganization, uh, Commissioner Seth Bluestein, the Republican, nominated me as be chair, and I was elected by my parents' service chair.
Amen. Amen. David says, good morning, Mr. Chairman. You brought the commissioner's office in the 21st century. Thank you. Um, Monica says, I like that healthy brain, body, and bank account. And Laura says, I worked for voter registration during the Tartagliatone era. Tartaglione era. It's an important
That's
function.
Agnew.
Yes. Yeah, we can really appreciate it now. And Monica says, great morning, Chairman. I'm just giving you their greetings as they're going along. Now, listen, let's get into the
Good
meat and
morning.
the Rudy and the Tootie, shall we? Yeah, we
Let's do it.
we are struggling in these here United States. We're seeing so many things happening around elections. I want you to focus first of all on what's happening in Philadelphia. What do we need to know? Our election's still happening in May because based on our president, I don't know what the hell is going on in these Wacondan streets. You tell us what's happening in Philadelphia. How are we protected? How are the votes protected, et cetera, et cetera. So let's start in Philadelphia. What do we need to know, sir?
Sure. On Tuesday, May the 19th, Tuesday, May the 19th, Tuesday, May the 19th, right? We need to say this date. I know oftentimes we say May. No, May the 19th. That's the day, right?
Mhm.
May the 19th across the state of Pennsylvania is election day. It's a primary election. And of course, we have our governor's races, we have our congressional races, state reps, we have state senate. But what's most important really is the ward leaders race, and that's the committee people's race. So the committee people will be on the ballot this election, and the committee people elect the ward leaders. So Philadelphia has 69 wards, and those ward leaders are the ones who vote on the nomination for the Democratic Party or the Republican Party.
Mhm.
So whoever has that endorsement, typically a Democratic endorsement, because out
Philadelphia.
of 10 voters, 10 voters, seven of them are Democratic. So typically, whoever wins that nomination is typically going to win whatever election. So it's very critical that we sort of think about that. Ward leaders also vote on zoning. The wards are RCOs too, registered community organizations, and they vote on the zoning in the community. And so those zoning decisions normally comes to the district council member, and the recommendation of what the ward leaders would say or think holds a lot of weight to the district council member.
Yes.
And so it's very critical that election. And we typically have older citizens who like to
Mhm.
be committee person.
Mhm.
We definitely want to encourage as many people as possible
Mhm.
to run for that office. I encourage them to work with
So
the existing ward structure, right?
what do they need to do to become a ward leader? What are the qualifications? Ah, somebody just asked.
Okay. Okay. So a ward leader is elected by the committee people. So the committee people are elected to make up the ward. So the committee people
Mhm.
make up the ward, and then they vote on the ward leader. So
Okay.
whoever's going to be the ward leader is going to be decided by who runs for committee person. So there are
Um,
1,703. There are 1,703 divisions that make up uh, our election cycle, and each division has two committee people for each party.
that's a
So
lot
let's
of
just say for the
people.
Democratic Party, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. So you got 3,500 committee people all across the city of Philadelphia. And so just in total, we have 1 million registered voters. So out of those 1 million registered voters, 3,000 so make up Democratic Party, and then however many is on the Republican Party. And so
Mhm.
it's not as many Republican committee people as there are Democratic committee people.
So how does one become a committee person? You have to be elected as a committee person.
Right, you got to be elected as a committee person. So there needs to be 10 registered voters from that division. Now, a division makes up about 2 to 3 block radius,
Mhm.
give or take. That's what makes up a division. And
Okay.
so again, you have a little over 1,700 divisions. And
Mhm.
so each division represents a polling location.
Mhm.
And so, and you run for that division, you need at least 10 registered voters
Mhm.
from your party to sign a nominating petition. You fill out the affidavit, you get it notarized, and then you turn it into the city commissioner's office. And then, your name is going to be on the ballot if you don't get challenged.
Okay. So just so I'm clear, if you want to become a committee person, you need to go, you need to know what division you're in, right? And then you get
Right.
10, 10, you get up, where do you get the ballot from? For
Registered voters.
10 registered voters from your
Oh,
party.
no. So, right. So you can get, so you get everything from our office.
So you go, they
Right
come
at
to your
City Hall, you
office.
write satellite location.
Okay.
Right, right. They come to our office to get the petitions. Right, they get all the packets, all the information you can get,
Petitions.
or you can go to our website at vote.phila.gov, and you could just go to the job form and you could put the information in, and you could
Mhm.
print everything out online.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
it's definitely pretty
You
efficient
really
and
have
easy
come
that
into the
way. Or you
21st
go to our
century.
satellite location to pick up the blank
Yeah.
form.
You
Yes,
really
yes,
have
yes.
come
You
into
get all
the
that stuff
21st.
in.
It's
Now the key is you
amazing.
just got to turn. Right. So when you turn everything back in, you have to turn everything back in at City Hall. So you have
Okay.
to turn everything back at City Hall, but you can
Mhm.
pick up all the stuff from the satellite locations. And again, that's one way of doing it. But I highly recommend that you just reach out to the ward leader and say, hey, ward leader, I'm thinking about becoming a committee person. What exactly does a committee person do?
Mhm.
I'm interested in serving. And more than likely, they'll find out, what division you're in. They'll try
Mhm.
to get you a spot. And if they have a long serving committee person already, what they'll do is just appoint you to a position because you can have some auxiliary positions in another division. A lot
Okay.
of times they'll just appoint you because it's an unglamorous job.
Mhm.
It's unpaid. A lot of people really don't want to do it, especially a lot of younger people.
Mhm.
But again, if we encourage them, we ask them, we remind them
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
this is coming up. And then what happens is when you get those sort of young minds, young voices, or diverse voices, or it could
Mhm.
be, people that may be older that want to do it. Don't matter. As long as you care about your city, we want you, to definitely run. And what happens is you have those voices in the community. And when people are thinking about who do we endorse or why this endorsement happened, a lot of times like, how did that happen? I didn't know nothing about it. Yeah, it was the committee people that sat down, they had these meetings, and they talk about the community and direction they wanted to go.
Mhm. So see, here's the thing, because the questions are flying in. How do we find out who are our ward leaders? I'm in East Oak Lane, and the older people do not share much.
So those people don't share much. You go to our website, vote.phila.gov. We have all of that. Or you can go to 70.org, 70.org. Committee of 70 has the list of all of the ward leaders, but in our handbook, we have the name, we have the phone number, we have maps of all the ward
Mhm.
leaders, Democrat and Republican, across the city of Philadelphia. And again, you
Mhm.
can reach out to them, talk to them. And then again, if you have any issues that you may have in your community, you can talk to your ward leaders and your committee people because, you can call an elected official up, but it holds a lot of weight if your ward leader is calling or your committee person is
Mhm.
calling. Or when they ask you where you live at, you tell them, okay, I'm in 34th Ward, 5th Division.
Yes.
When you talk like that, and I could say from state rep all the way up to president, when you start talking about this what ward division I live in, oh, okay, that sort of gives a different sort of era for you to advocate for your community. So we definitely highly recommend you do it. If you're serving as a block captain, we definitely want you to run for committee person. Like all of those sort of positions overlap. If you serve an election board, we want you to serve on jury duty as well. We just want you to be an overall
Yeah.
a better citizen. And
Yeah.
we start to see people sort of uh, when we start to see people exercise that citizenship, we start to see better results. We see better outcomes inside of our communities.
Yeah. So it's vote.filla.gov, correct?
That's the website, vote.phila.gov, where you always can call us at 215-686-VOTE, 215-686-VOTE. That's the general number. But my personal office number is 215-686-3462, 215-686-3462. Please feel free to give us a call anytime. Or you always can send us an email. We check that 24 hours. Our
Mhm.
email is connected to our phones, and that email address is Omar dot Sabir, SABIR, at phila.gov, Omar.Sabir at phila.gov. And we check that email. So whatever you need in regards with your vote needs, please just reach out to us. And no question is a stupid question. Some people be like, I don't want to ask that question. I think it's just dumb. No, ask the question.
Mhm.
And you'd be amazed that a lot of people may have that same exact question. And whatever we pretty much can't get through the week, every Saturday at 8 a.m., we're on WURD answering
Mhm.
questions live. We're on
Mhm.
that platform every Saturday from 8
Mhm.
a.m. to 9 a.m.
Mhm.
sharp. And when people call and ask their questions, we answer them live on air. And so
Mhm.
we're here, as
Mhm.
much best as we possibly can for you.
Okay. So Lynette Hill says, can members of the public obtain updated voter registration lists directly from satellite election offices?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. Okay. They're asking.
Yeah, so
Asking
so so
says,
those satellite election offices, right? So they're basically mini city halls. I mean, whatever you pretty much can do down city hall. The only thing we don't do at our satellite election offices is collect the we don't collect the financial reports. Other
okay.
than that, we pretty much accept voter registration forms. We have blank forms. We have blank vote by mail forms.
Mhm.
And then there's also someone there that can answer your questions. You have a live
Mhm.
person. So if you call in and you might get a voicemail or something, you actually have live people at one of these satellite locations where they can talk directly to you.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the things that were happening with people, it was some people just could not make it down to City Hall. It was cumbersome, the parking, all of that. The satellite offices have made it a whole lot easier. Someone says, what does the committee people do other than sit at elections?
That's basically it. I mean, they also hear like zoning issues throughout the year. So each ward is typically a registered community organization.
Hmm.
So when someone wants to open up a business in your community, you have to get the input from the community. So you may see those orange signs. And I know
Hmm.
we may walk past them but don't pay attention to them. But whenever somebody wants to open something up, there's going to be a big, bright orange, poster setting up needing some sort of zoning. And that's zoning for anything, whether you want to open up a daycare center, whether you want to open up a liquor store, whether you want to open up anything inside of your community, anything,
Hmm. Or put
you're
an
going to
addition
have to
onto your
go through
house.
zoning. Yeah, in addition to your house, whatever it is, the community
Hmm.
has to have input on it. And so these
Hmm.
wards are these registered community organizations in the community. And what they typically do is they'll convene a community meeting, and then whoever is trying to get the zoning, they'll go to that community and ask for their support. Whatever questions or concerns you may have, it could be parking, it could be security, it could be jobs for the community, it could be whatever condition that the community has for this business to open and operate in your community. They come before that community, and then the registered community organization gives a recommendation to the district council member, and then it goes down to the zoning board to say, hey, we are in support of this project or we're not in support of it.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, you do constituent services.
Mm-hmm.
As a committee person, of course, you get out to vote, but when you're at the supermarket, people are going to walk up to you and say, hey, what's going on, man? I got a problem with my water bill. I got a problem with my gas bill. I got this, I got that. And so, yeah, no constituent services. And, it's like, it's supposed to be very simple. When the way our forefathers set it up, it was supposed to be that you could go to a common person to get whatever sort of constituent services that
Okay.
you needed. You didn't have to go all the way down to downtown. They were kind of like supposed to be like the satellite election office, I guess, for you in your community. So each
Mm-hmm.
division has its representative that they could talk to and say, hey, man, I got a problem with this. And then that committee person will reach out to the ward leader. Then the ward leader will reach out to the council member, the congress member, the state rep, whoever. And then you would get your constituent services, sort of funnel back. So that's kind of the role of a committee person. Whenever there's jobs and things like that that typically come down the pike, I mean, the committee people, when leadership, and that's it could be someone open up a business, or it could be you typically go to the committee people first because they're like the neighborhood leaders and neighborhood liaisons, committee people, block captains. They get all the information first, and then they
Mm-hmm.
disseminate the information to their neighbors and friends. So that's
Yeah.
what the role of a committee person typically is.
I just want to make you aware that there's a delay when you and I are talking to each other. So if it seems like I'm talking over you, that's why.
Oh
So
wow.
just figured out. Yeah, okay. So just hold on one
Okay.
second as I'm going. Someone says, let me, and they're talking. Why are ward leaders elected officials? Are they? Are ward leaders elected officials?
No, they're elected by the committee people of the whatever ward that they live in. So you have those committee people, they make up the ward leaders, and then they elect the ward leader. So the committee people vote
Mhm.
after the election when they do their reorganization every 4 years. They vote on who's going to be the ward leader. If a ward leader cannot finish out their term, the committee people then come in and vote for the replacement.
Okay. So I could go and run to become a committee person or a ward leader where I live. Is that what you're saying? And any old person can just go ahead and get a petition if this is what they choose to do. It's not a paid position, but at least you become involved in your community. Correct?
Right, but you have to live inside of so you have to live inside that division. So
Okay.
say if you're in so I was a committee person, I was in the 34th Ward, 14th Division. So me and my mother was my partner. So we were the two committee people. So we were in 34th Ward, 14th Division. We lived in that division, so we were the committee people for that division. And only the people that live in that division can vote for that committee person, whoever that committee person is. Now the ward leader is a little bit different. As a ward leader, you don't have to live in that ward. You can elect anyone that the ward wants to be whoever the ward. So whatever name the committee people come up with, that's the person that they want to elect to be the ward leader for that ward.
Oh, okay. That's the first time I'm really hearing that. I'm sure you've said it before, but that's the first time I'm really hearing you say this. All right. So May 19th is our primary election. Based on
May
everything
19th.
that's May 19th,
Right,
right?
right.
Okay. So based on everything that's going on around the country, what's being put in place to protect our votes and to assure us that we will be safe should we come out to vote? When we come out to vote.
So everything is pretty much in line. I mean, we have a world class mayor's office. We have a world class city council who appropriated the appropriate resources that we have to fit the latest regards with election security. We have partnerships with state, federal agencies to make sure that everything is operating smoothly with the elections. Now, elections are the bedrock of our democracy, and you got to ignore the noise that is going on. When people were saying that things were fraudulent with our elections, whenever they sued us, they never was on record in court telling the judge that they believed that it was election fraud. It's amazing. They challenged
Mm,
every procedure that we were in, but they never said that it was election fraud in court. And
mm,
they went on record on it. And the reason why they never did it is because they knew that the election system was intact. We wasn't doing no nefarious activities. But publicly, it was that sort of thing designed to get people to have doubt in the election process and not participate. And that's what it's all about now, for you to build up doubt in the election process, and primarily African American, Latino voters to not come out and vote, say, "Oh, I'm leaving the system, I got doubts about it," and they don't participate in it. And one of the sort of uh, things that we see across our country is that the people who are quote unquote election deniers and say that things are wrong with elections, they have the highest voter turnouts in our country. It's like, y'all think the elections is bad, but y'all vote the most. Y'all rates are high. So in order for them to sort of get the results that they want to discourage African American and Latino voters. Say, you know what, this election system is bad. We never really had, our say in government, something wrong with it. And, they got people not to participate in it. And it's a sophisticated campaign of misinformation and disinformation that has been going on, for like since the inception of our country. I mean, it's very interesting that even when you're talking about what happened in 1870, where African American males had the right to vote by the Constitution, and we still saw local and state governments sort of attack them and try to block their right to vote. We even saw a lot of political violence. We even saw Octavius Cattle in 1871, who was a civil rights activist. He fought in the Civil War. He was excited, organizing his family and friends to vote, and he ended up getting killed on election day. And so we sort of see these things, and those things have been, happening in our country. So people don't want you to vote. But again, we have to sort of just do it. I mean, it's easier now than it's ever been. And when you think about people like Octavius Cattle, Medgar Evers, they could only dream at the ease that we have now to vote. I mean, you don't even have to leave your house to vote. You could just say, "Hey, look, Commissioner, send me a ballot, mail it to me," and it gets mailed directly to you. You can walk into that side location and say, "Hey, Commissioner, why don't you just print out a ballot for me? And your registered voter, we'll print that ballot out for you. You have a private place to do it, and your civic obligation is done." If you're sick in the hospital, you're saying, "Man, I can't make it to election day, man. I passed the vote by mail deadline. What do I do?" Just tell that doctor that you want to vote, and we'll have a ballot delivered to you right in the hospital.
Wait,
If
what?
there's someone who is incarcerated, and oh yeah, we bring them directly to the hospital, somebody in a rehabilitation home. We make sure that you sort of get these sort of things. And again, it's easier now to vote than it's ever been. Like if you're sudden, if you got someone who walk down the street and they sudden experience incarceration, you get, jammed up and you get arrested. You can vote like in the jail. Like we actually bring the ballots to you. All you gotta do is just tell your lawyer, tell the warden, tell the security guard that you want to vote, and we'll make sure that we'll deliver that ballot while you're currently incarcerated. You can vote. So I mean, it's numerous ways you can vote. There's no excuses.
Yes, yes. I have one last question for you. Let's just say the president decides that he wants to do the Insurrection Act. What does that mean for our voting? Does that stop voting at all?
I don't know. No, no. I mean, see, you got to think about like the only thing that keeps America together is that right to vote. Right? There's never have not been elections ever in our country. It's not, what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, you got to even when the Civil War happened, that's when they started vote by mail for the Civil War. So it's always would have been where you have free and open, fair elections. So if you don't have free and open, fair elections, what you have is uh, you have chaos and you have bedlam.
Yeah.
So they have elections that's always going to be there. That's your fundamental right. Like that's the thing that makes America America. And so that's what we have to understand, that we still have rights and no one has that power to stop that. So we have to exercise that right. When we get confused a lot of times, we see people just stop doing it or something we don't like, we back up. Now's not the time to back up. Now the time is to have historic voting turnouts, historic numbers to say, "Hey, I don't like what's going on in America, yo. I'm an American citizen and I vote." What happens is you'll start to see all those policies change because y'all came out and voted historic numbers. And the black votes always decide policy across America. It's always been like that. Just how it is. We look at the numbers. It's always about the black vote. Whatever gets behind the black vote is out and excited and voting at a high number. You can get whatever policy that you want to get changed. And if you look at the demographics of America now, it's more black and brown people than there is other people.
And
Just
so,
like in Philadelphia, you got
yeah.
1 million registered voters. Out of that 1 million registered voters, 60% of those voters are African American, Latino, and Asian. It's a fact. Do we vote like we should? Of course not. So when we don't get the things that we want, man, you got to look at these actions that we're actually do. Something simple. Twice a year, sometimes three times a year. We actually get out and we want you to vote in high numbers. And then what happens is we get massive resources from the state. We get massive resources from the federal government. And yeah, even the federal government, we still get resources from them, right? And we still can get resources because Philadelphia County, just Philadelphia County alone, right? That's the largest county in Pennsylvania. So it's the largest county. And Pennsylvania, whoever wins Pennsylvania, it's an 80% chance that they're going to win the presidency.
Mhm.
So it's in play. And, if you look at the Southeast, that's Philadelphia County, Montgomery County, Bucks County, Delaware County, like that's the lion's share of the economy and it's the lion's share of the votes that represent state Pennsylvania. So we have these things. Now, the thing is, are we using it? Probably not. But guess what? Tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
And what we saw in the last election, we saw the highest voter turnout in the post presidential election since 1989. So we're seeing people come out, they're awakening. And right now is our time to really sort of exercise this enthusiasm we have around our elections.
Mhm.
And let's vote.
Yeah. It's all due in part, though, to the work, the consistent work. People have been conditioned so many, many years about just not coming out to vote because your vote doesn't matter. You have turned that around. So you are literally Black history in motion. You are literally Black history in motion. And while it may not happen in your lifetime, there's going to be something recorded somewhere in history that things started shifting when you came into office. The one of the things someone Monica says, wait, what? Wow, I didn't know any of that. You have taken away any and every obstacle in order to vote. Go vote. The post office has been changing the postmark date, all of that. Someone says, but should we just go ahead and drop off our things at the election satellite offices for our mail-in ballots? Can we do that instead of putting it in the post office?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we have Eagles Green Dropbox locations. We have
Mm-hmm.
our own secure Dropbox locations. So
Mm-hmm.
we highly encourage you just to go ahead and just take it there because you're going to end up receiving an email, a verification. Then when you take it to the satellite locations, they actually check to see whether or not you put your ballot in the secrecy envelope, whether or not you signed it. If you didn't, someone will say, hey, you got to sign this, you got to do that. Then you put it in. You're going to receive the email, as soon as you drop it off, and you have a receipt saying that we received your ballot. So we definitely highly encourage you to use those Eagle Dream drop boxes. I mean, the post office is that's fine, but I would just give it at least like a week or two because let's just say we don't receive it. You still have time for you to walk in, request a ballot, or print out a replacement ballot, and then you'll be able to do it. But again, we had constituents. I knew this one constituent. She had to take care of her sister in California,
Mm-hmm.
and she was so scared to go take care of her sister in California because she didn't miss an election in like 60 years. And she was like, Commissioner Sarah, I'm like, yo, we're gonna mail you out the ballot. Give us the address. And we ended up mailing her the ballot. She had enough time. She mailed us back the ballot, and her vote counted. And she was really amazed at that. So we can do that if you got a college student that's serving, like that's in college. We can mail them out the ballots, no problem. But again, just give us more time because those deadlines are drop dead deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have the completed ballot in our hand by May the 19th at 8 p.m. sharp. Postmarks don't count. So if you put that ballot in the mail, with like a day or something too, we're not going to get it. So use our Dropbox locations. We highly encourage, use that. That's more secure in the post office. But again, even if you send it in the post office, you didn't get the email back, just call, verify, and then you could then come to satellite locations and just print it out, and then we'll just do it right there. We'll get you another replacement ballot. So whatever way we can do it, we try to make it easy for you. But again, a lot of those technical deadlines are the deadlines, but the most intelligent deadlines do it right now. Once you made your plan, you said, look, I want to vote by mail.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to get whatever applications you want to get, whatever paperwork you want to do. Let's just get it done. You want to vote in person? That's fine too. If you want to say, hey, we want to vote in person, let's start talking about if you need a ride to the polls now, so that way people can really take their time off to make sure that we get you there to vote because it's too critical right now
Yeah.
to not sort of have a plan about that right now.
Philadelphia seems to be the space where everybody is watching. We have leaders that are doing the work that is necessary, and you're one of them. Thank you so much for coming on here and having the crucial conversation with us. Joanne says, "Is your office hiring?" That just popped up out of nowhere. Is your office hiring?
Yeah, we always got part time and seasonal positions. So just send me an email and we'll see if we got like some sort of part time and seasonal. Then whenever the permanents open up, we normally share them. But again, we always normally got those part time jobs that goes to election. That'll be helping processing the voting machines. Then we always got poll workers as well. But we actually pay up to $300 on election day, 295 hours. So
Okay.
we definitely need poll workers. So whatever we can do, we got some part time. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I really want to focus on committee people and ward leaders so that people can learn more about who they are. And I want to do this all year long, so it's not just around election time. Please, sir, if it's okay with you, can
Let's
we
do
have
it.
you back on to consistently have this
Yeah,
conversation, right? So people can learn more because you're turning the tide. More people are coming out to vote. Last election was better than anybody had ever expected it to be. And so we're grateful for that. Thank you for continuing to do the work. Lynette Hill says, folks, if you're running for committee person, read and follow the rules. Get at least 20 to 30 signatures for challenge purposes because somebody will challenge you. Right. So if they knock down 20, you still have the 10 that is required. Make sure every signer's address match their current voter registration. Yes. And Alexandra says, thank you for this informative show. Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure. Chairman Commissioner Sabir from the elections office here in Philadelphia. If those of you who are not from Philadelphia, because we have people watching from everywhere, this is how the process works here. All eyes are on us. We have our things coming up in celebrating our 250th year anniversary, and the leadership here is doing what it's supposed to do, when it's supposed to do, how it's supposed to do. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Ah, that was good, y'all. As he gets ready to sign off, thank you, sir. We'll talk to you soon. This was a good conversation. Appreciate, when they're invited, they show up so we can have the dialogue here. Give me a couple of more minutes, please, before you leave me today. Stanton wrote something that I wanted to address because we're talking. Wow, you all, I love how engaged you all are. This is just wonderful. Woo, Lord. And Sharon, congratulations. She says, West Oak Lane, I am the new minority inspector of election for Ward 10, District 4. That takes, time and effort. I did put the numbers in here for you to call 215-686-VOTE or vote.phila.gov to get all your information about ward leadership, all of that. Make sure that people get the primaries are May 19th. Let me see if I can find what Stanton wrote so I can. So Stanton said, we were having a conversation. He says, I'll be honest, I'm trying to accomplish that. I just see many people see you as that in our community. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done. It is hard. There are folks out here that will try to harm you for whatever the reason, right? But you continue to do what you have to. You continue to remain the person you are. Do not let anyone shift you so that you can cause more issues for yourself. It is, it's not easy. Trust me when I tell you. But as you're going through, learn. Monica says this was good, very informative. We try to give an informative show every single time we come, whether we're talking about love, supporting other people. Essence says, yes, this was good information. What is the age for committee people? I am going to assume 18 and up, but then go to let me just write this because I just went through it. Vote.phila.gov. Again, vote.phila, PHILA.gov. And you should get all the information that you need. It is, I just want to let you know that I am not going to be on the air on Thursday. But I'll be back on Friday. And so those of you who are coming with me to go to Booker's on Sunday. It's been the reservation has been made, and so I have the list of people who said they wanted to come. If you are not able to come for whatever reason, can open up a space for somebody else, let me know. But the reservation for bookers has been made. Thank you all so. I have a crick in my neck. Oh my God. Thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of Mornings with Mova. As always, we try our very best to give you everything that you may need in the moment. I did something with my in the moment so that you can get what you want. And I'm hoping that you continue to learn from each other as we have dialogue each and every day around here. It's been a lot, y'all. It's been a lot. I'm grateful, though, that Commissioner Sabir was on to talk to us about these elections and that we should not let it, despite what we see happening in the federal government and nationally, that we continue to focus on what is in front of us to make sure that we can get things moving and shaking in Philadelphia County and in the state of Pennsylvania. While we were talking about Philadelphia, this also applies to those of you wherever you live. Go find out how your elected offices run, where your commissioner's office, they might not even be called a commissioner's office. Whatever your process is, educate yourself so that you can go out to vote. We need everybody to vote around the country such that it is while we continue to have our rights to do so. This episode of Mornings with Mova is officially over. I am Andrea Lawful Sanders. I'll see you when I see you. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.